Welcome to Faithful Armies. If you're passionate about stories of courage, history, and faith, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest videos. The story of David versus Goliath is a tale of incredible faith, courage, and the power of the human spirit to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. This account, which comes from the Bible's book of 1 Samuel, has inspired people for centuries, showing that with faith, even the smallest can overcome the mightiest. Today, we're diving into this legendary battle and unpacking the timeless lessons it offers us. The setting: a nation at war. In the land of Israel, a tense battle loomed between the Israelites and the Philistines. The two armies had gathered at opposite sides of a valley, prepared to engage in combat. For Israel, led by King Saul, the Philistines were a persistent threat, and their most fearsome warrior, Goliath, was at the forefront. Standing over 9 feet tall, Goliath was a terrifying sight. His armor was massive and his weaponry even more intimidating, making him seem invincible. Each day for 40 days, Goliath taunted the Israelites, daring any soldier to come forward and fight him one-on-one. He mocked not only the Israelite army, but their faith in God, challenging the very core of what they stood for. Yet, despite his threats, no one in Israel's army dared to take on the challenge. The sight of Goliath struck fear into the hearts of Israel's bravest soldiers. David enters the scene. Enter David, a young shepherd from Bethlehem. At the time, he was merely a teenager, the youngest of 8 sons of Jesse. David wasn't a soldier, he was a shepherd, accustomed to caring for his father's flock and not to fighting battles, but he had a deep, unwavering faith in God. One day, Jesse sent David to the battlefield to bring food to his brothers who were serving in King Saul's army. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's insults and threats firsthand. Unlike the seasoned soldiers, David was not afraid. His heart burned with a righteous anger because he felt that Goliath wasn't just defying the Israelite army, but also disrespecting God himself. David's confidence came from his experiences as a shepherd. Though he had faced many dangers in the wilderness, like lions and bears, he believed that God had protected him in those moments. With a strong sense of purpose, David went to King Saul and volunteered to fight Goliath, much to everyone's astonishment. Initially, Saul was hesitant. David was young and inexperienced, while Goliath was a seasoned warrior. But David's faith and determination convinced Saul to let him go forward. Saul offered David his armor, but David quickly realized it was too heavy and cumbersome. Instead, David chose to go with what he knew best, a sling and 5 smooth stones he picked from a nearby brook. This moment is critical because it reflects the essence of the story. David relied not on the typical tools of war, but on his faith and what he was already equipped with. For David, the battle was not just a physical confrontation, but a spiritual one. And he believed that God would deliver him from the giant. With his simple weapon, David approached Goliath. The Philistine was incredulous. He mocked David, asking if he was some kind of joke. To Goliath, David was merely a boy with a stick, not a threat. But David responded confidently, proclaiming that while Goliath came with sword and spear, he came in the name of the Lord of hosts. David's courage came from his faith, not from any weapon. Then, in a single, swift movement, David took 1 stone, placed it in his sling, and launched it at Goliath. The stone struck Goliath in the forehead with such force that he fell to the ground. David then ran forward, took Goliath's own sword, and ended the fight. This young shepherd, armed only with his faith and a sling, had defeated the mightiest warrior of the Philistines. The story of David versus Goliath is more than just a battle story. It's a lesson in faith, courage, and the power of determination. Here are a few takeaways. Faith over fear. David's confidence was grounded in his belief that God would be with him. His faith allowed him to face a challenge that terrified everyone else. Using what you have. David didn't rely on traditional armor or weapons. Instead, he used what he had, a simple sling and stones, and trusted that it was enough. This teaches us that we don't need to be equipped like everyone else to achieve great things. The power of the underdog. David's victory over Goliath is the ultimate underdog story. It reminds us that size, experience, and power don't always determine the outcome. Sometimes all it takes is heart and faith. Standing up for what's right. David didn't have to fight Goliath. He wasn't even a soldier. But he felt compelled to act when he saw something that went against his faith. His courage to stand up even when others wouldn't is a lesson for us all. The story of David versus Goliath has become a metaphor for overcoming giant obstacles. It's a story that resonates in every generation because it speaks to the courage we all need to face our own giants, whether they're external challenges or personal fears. If you enjoyed learning about David's story, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what giants you're facing today. And don't forget to join us for more powerful stories of faith and history on Faithful Armies. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay courageous.